I remember when I was first growing in the editing space, and I would go onto Twitter and see other editors who were working with pretty large channels. And honestly, just looking at their work, it made me so insecure. Not only were they 100 times better than me, but they were working with not only bigger, but just more clients than me. And then I'd go edit on my own Premiere, and I would just hate that I wasn't as good as them. I remember how bad that made me feel, not only because of just the skill that I was lacking, but the money side as well. I was only making around $500, $1,000 a month from editing, and I knew that there were other editors making more than me. What I'm going to speak about in this video is going to be what I wish I could tell myself when I was at that stage, because I've gotten out of it now. It's took me a few years, 2, 3 years to get out of that situation, but now I actually enjoy the work that I do. I love my clients, and I'm actually getting paid well for the work I do. I'm getting paid right now around $500 to $1,000 for my day rate. So that means per day of work, I normally work around 3 to 5 hours per day. I make about like nearing $1,000 per day, and that's for clients with 20, 30 million subscribers. And I have basically got my dream clients, my dream life, and now I help other editors. I have thousands of people using my presets because my edits are that good. Well, at least people like them. Whether you agree or not, I mean, I guess I don't really mind, but other people are tending to say that. And in this video, I am going to share what took me so long so that hopefully you can skip the years that it took me and cut it down to a few months. The reason it took me so long and the reason I was so insecure with no solution, I had such a vast underestimation of what it actually took for mastery. The way you make money in pretty much any business, any niche, any skill is by achieving mastery in it if you want to make a decent amount of money. It doesn't matter if you're doing dropshipping, it doesn't matter if you're doing video editing, it doesn't matter if you're doing graphic design. Even within just one of these skills, let's say within video editing, because we're both video editors, there is no certain niche that makes the most money. Gaming makes a fuck ton of money. Finance makes a fuck ton of money. Kids channels make a fuck ton of money. Like, I've worked in all these niches. I've gotten $1,000 plus commissions in all of them. Do not listen to people when they say there is a best niche, because a lot of the time they're pretty broke as well. The way you make money in editing is by picking any of these niches and working with the top creators in them. All niches have creators that are large and are willing to spend a lot. I have Fortnite clients that in the past that had paid me like over $1,000 per video. So like, there's money in all of them. But in order to get to the top of these niches, in order to achieve mastery in one of these areas, it's ugly. It's really fucking ugly. Because to get to like a decent point in editing, which is maybe your videos look pretty decent, you're charging like $100 a video, maybe 150, $200 a video, you don't need to be that good. Like, I'm gonna be completely honest. If your videos are like decent, you're able to use presets well, like even just being a normal preset editor, bro, I was one of those preset editors and I was still making like a K a month. But to get to the next level, it's just brute forcing inputs. And let me give you an example for this. When I first started this YouTube channel, so me starting to help editors because I had already gotten my dream clients, I was insecure in the way that I spoke. In fact, I think I still am a little bit even while I say these words. But if you look at my first video, the demeanor that I have is completely different. I wouldn't say I'm some extravagant, crazy speaker now, but I'm a lot better than when I first started a year ago. And here's what's interesting. My first video on this channel was after me spending an entire year focusing on my vocal image and my social skills. So even after an entire year of learning how to speak to people in real life, reading books like How to Influence and Influence People, How to Speak with Charisma, I read all these books. And even then, my videos, I couldn't speak. I would have 10, 20-second pauses between lines. My editor, my OG editor, his name was Brandon. We're so good friends. But he knows, like, I could not speak for shit. And 5 videos in, I was just as shit. 10 videos in, I was still insecure. I still had to hire an editor just for me to cut up my videos because I couldn't speak. And the only thing that got me through it was I had a mentor at the time. And I told him that I was insecure about speaking and that I didn't know how to get better. And he told me to bring up my channel. And I did. Then he told me to bring up his channel. And I did the same. And then he told me to scroll down both of them. I scrolled down mine. It took me, honestly, no time at all. All the videos could actually fit on one screen. Then he told me to scroll on his. So I start scrolling and I keep scrolling and it doesn't stop. He said, of course you're not good at speaking. You've recorded 5 videos. I've recorded over 1,000. How did you expect to be good? And then he told me record 50 videos and then come back to me if you have a problem. I recorded 50 videos. I no longer had a problem with speaking. And what this lesson taught me was a lot of the time at first it's just brute violence. Like, you will make the most progress by just doing the thing. And when I was at this stage of making like $100 a video, $150 a video, I just hadn't edited enough videos. I had only edited like 50 videos in my life, 100 videos ish in my life, maybe 50 that were actually decent. How did I expect to be making $500, $600, $700, $800 per video? Just like these people I'm looking up to, but they have been in the game not only longer, but they just done more work than me. And the thing is, it's not that they worked longer hours than me. I mean, they physically couldn't have. I was working all day. They were just spending their time actually on the action that makes the most progress, rather than doing everything around it. So, for the speaking example again, I had uploaded 5 videos and I was insecure about how I spoke. But the thing is, I still felt as though I was working on my speaking. I was reading books on how to speak. I was continuously rereading how to influence people. I would fake record just so I can get used to speaking off camera, so I'd be better on camera. I would try optimizing my script just so that I don't have to think as much. I was doing everything, but I wasn't improving. The problem was I wasn't actually recording the videos. And with editors, what I found is a lot of editors, like, they would be a lot better if they simply just did more videos. I jump in calls with a lot of editors. We have like a free Discord server, and sometimes I jump in calls with them. And they ask me, hey, like, I'm struggling to get clients. No one checks my portfolio. No one responds to my outreach. No one comes to me and wants to work with me. And I asked them to send me their page. I asked them, like, send me your page. And there's a few different reactions I get. Some of them, they say, oh, I don't actually have one. Like, I just kind of emailed him. I don't have a Twitter. I don't have a portfolio. Nothing. I'm like, okay. I'm not surprised I'm not surprised you don't get a response. I wouldn't respond to you. Not to be rude. I don't mean to be an arsehole by saying that. I'm just saying it from a creator's point of view. I hope I don't sound like an arsehole by saying this. This is something that I needed when I was starting out. Like, nobody owes you shit. It's your job to actually present yourself as a decent offer. And then there's other editors that I see, and they're saying, hey, I'm struggling to charge higher than what I am right now. I'm struggling to raise my prices from $50 a video. And I ask them, how many videos have you edited? And they'll usually say something silly like 5, 10. I edited about 100 Fortnite montages before even getting a single content editing commission. My first commission was for $5. I got scanned for half of it. For the next year, I was doing commissions for about $10. That means basically every single day I was working on client work. And then when I decided to move into content editing, it was actually because a friend of mine, we were in the same Fortnite team, and he knew that I was editing Fortnite montages for 10, $15, and then he sent me a screenshot where he got paid $200 for a video, and I thought he was lying because to me, nobody even got paid that much in editing. I didn't believe it. Then he showed me proof, and then I was like, shit, well, I'm doing something wrong. I should be in content editing. And it was that day, honestly, part of it was jealousy that made me want to get into content editing. But the problem was I've never done it before. So here's what I had to do. I outreached to about 50, 60 people. Most of them ghosted me. But I got one guy to agree to work with me. And when he asked for my prices, guess what I said? I normally charge $15 for a 2-minute montage. This guy's asking for a 10-minute video. I charged even less. I had to work for $8 a video. I got it done. And for the next year or so, in fact, no, I actually moved on quite quickly when I went into content. For the next few videos, I'm still working at sort of that $10, $20, $30, $40 range. And it was after all of that I started seeing the exponential growth of me suddenly charging $100, then $200, then $400, then getting like $600. And honestly, I skipped from like $600 to like $900 pretty quickly. And now I'm charging between $1,000 and $2,000 per video. And honestly, it's the same amount of work as the videos I was doing for $100. I've told people that I charge this much before, and I've had people say, oh yeah, but it's like, there's no point if you're still taking ages on a video, if it takes you a month on a video. I get videos done in like 2 days. So, what I'm trying to share with you, this isn't, I hate when people say, oh, it's not to flex. Because like, I'm just saying it to share with you what's possible. If you take this as flexing, I don't blame you, honestly, because if I was charging like what I was charging back then and I heard someone say, oh yeah, like I'm doing the same amount of work as you and I get paid 10 times more, I'd be pretty pissed as well. And there were people that said that. I just didn't believe them. It's the equivalent of my friend, his name was Vise, my friend showing me that he got paid $200 and me not believing him. But I hope that if you listen to me, you are one of the people that see it more as inspiration. If you are under anything, honestly, if you're under anything below $100 a video, most likelihood chance is that you just haven't edited enough videos for you to do well. I'm not surprised your editing isn't good enough to charge more. And that's a good thing, because at least now we've identified what we can do to improve it. The number one sort of metric you want to be thinking about throughout your growth, it's one thing up till around $1,000 per video, which is client flow. Until you're at $1,000 per video or around about there, client flow is the biggest thing that you need to focus on. And what that means is just purely the number of clients that you are working with. Because as an editor, you will tend to grow much, much faster than a creator. You might join a creator and work with him when he's able to charge you $50 per video. But within like 1 month, you as an editor would most likely, you'd like double your skill level every 1 or 2 months, right? Just think about how good you were a month ago, or how bad you were, conversely. You improve so quickly. You'd probably be able to double your prices every like couple months if you actually had everything in place, if you had all the client acquisition systems in place. Your work is like twice as good every few months. But most creators, most YouTubers aren't going to be able to double the amount they're able to pay every month. So you will always tend to outgrow a creator, a client, and that's normal. So jumping clients is usually the best way you're going to raise your prices, and it's a cruel world, but mercenaries tend to get paid more until you're at the higher ranks. Client flow is your ability to quickly replace a client and in a way that your income does not drop. After you get, so you basically what you do, you get I'll say what I did actually. I got an $8 client for a YouTube video, did his work, did it really well, used him to get another $12 client. Used him to get a $30 client, used him to get a $50 client, and I worked with him for a while. And I used his video and his social proof and his name to get me $100 clients, and then $200 clients, and that's how you build up. And then once you get to around $900, $1,000 per video, it's more about leveraging less client flow. You still need client flow, but usually that will be in place already because of the like brand that you've built up. After that, to get from around 900, 1,000 to 2,000, I found it's more about leveraging relationships. So that's where you now learn human psychology. That's where you learn about how to make people feel valued. That's where you learn how to actually ascend a relationship rather than just like squeezing it for what it's worth, which honestly, that's what you do early on. So how do you maximize client flow? It's actually pretty simple. There's literally systems, and what a system is, you know what a system is roughly in your head, but you've never really thought of actionably what it is. A system is essentially you've got an input, you've got an output, and you have a process in between, which goes from input, processes the input, and it gives an output. And that's essentially like the base of a system. And then you have feedback, which goes from the output to refine your inputs. And then this all exists within a environment. So let's give an example of this. An input for you right now might be you editing a video. So this is something that you can do. So you can choose whether you edit a video right now or not. That's an input to the system. The process could be client feedback. So how the client responds to your edit. And in fact, let's go with this one. And then the output of this is basically almost your emotion to this. It's, do you feel good about your edits or do you feel bad about it? And the feedback would be, depending on whether you feel good or bad about it, the way you edit will change. If you feel good about the feedback that you've been given, you'd be like, oh, I'm going to keep editing more like that. But if the client gives really shitty feedback and you're like, oh, I feel really sad now, I'm not going to edit like how I did before. I'm going to change the input I did. The more cycles that you can go through, the better you're going to be. And if you're editing like one video a month, how do you expect to be good? If you've edited like less than 20, 30 videos, how do you expect to be up there with the best editors? I've edited like 200, 300, 400. And the beauty about all of this is it's exponential in nature. Meaning for myself, for the first like 50, 100, you barely make anything. And then suddenly you're just making huge steps. But too many editors are right at the beginning, wanting to make those huge steps, not seeing this shitty, grueling period of where you're just optimizing for inputs, where you're just editing the videos, where you're just outreaching, or you're just doing like posting previews, and they don't see the disgusting amount that you sometimes need to do before you start seeing results. I ask people, I've had editors that come up to me and say that outreach doesn't work. And I tell them, I have built my entire career from outreach, pretty much. I have editors that I coach, and I have got an outreach to work with them, both in the past and in the present, and I get it working reliably. And then they say, no, but it just doesn't work. I've tried it before, and I can't figure out why it doesn't work for them. Then I ask them, how many have you sent today? And they'll say, I haven't sent it today because it doesn't work. I'm like, okay, what about in this last week? How many have you sent? He's like, no, I did it like last week. I was like, how many did you send? Like 5, and everyone ghosted me. You sent 5 outreach, got ghosted, and you telling me it doesn't work. My brother, if I scroll through my DMs right now, in fact, I do this on call. I go into my Twitter DMs and I scroll down all the way to 2021 when I first started outreaching. There are more people that I have outreached to than words you have even spoken to clients. Like, I have outreached to thousands of people. You've outreached to less than 50, and you're telling me outreach doesn't work. The longer that I've stayed in business, the more I've been brutally reminded of the volume that it takes to do well. When I was outreaching back then, I would outreach about 20 times, and I thought that I was done. I was like, it doesn't work. See, there's only one person that responded. You get one person to respond out of 20. That's a 5% reply rate. That's good. I have a mentor. He makes about $1 million per month. Sorry, his name's Charlie Morgan, and I go to his mastermind, which is I paid £15,000 for it, so it's about $20,000 because I was early access, and it's normally $36,000 a year. He was showing me his outreach system. Him at $1 million a month, their response rate is like 2%. So for you as an editor who's just starting out with basically no social proof, with basically no like real evidence, sure you've started out and like you've got some videos, some social proof, like, but you're not like one of the biggest in the space yet. How can you expect to get like a 50% response rate? Bro, even with the social proof I've gone, I've worked with like the Sidemen, I've worked with Mr. Beast's team, I've worked with like these guys with 20, 30 million subscribers. I still get a response rate of like 5%, 10%, which means like 1 in 10, 1 in 20 will respond. And from those responses, maybe you'll work with 5% of them. So if you have 100 people that you reach out to, maybe 5 will respond. From the 5 that respond, you'll maybe work with one of them if you've got a 20% conversion rate, which is insane. Send 500 outreaches over the next few months and come back to me when you still don't have clients. You're not going to. The hard part isn't the outreach. The hard part is sticking with it. In fact, Charlie Morgan, this guy who's making $1 million a month, he has a specific guy who does outreach, basically research and development for the team. I asked him what the most, like, the biggest traits are when it comes to what makes a good outreach strategy, and he basically said it just comes down to 2 things. And here's the thing: it's not even about the message you send or the platform, none of it. It's consistency and charisma. And it sounds like sort of woo-woo. It's like, oh no, just tell me the exact message. It's literally just that. Consistency, charisma. Consistency, meaning that, sure, you can outreach for 50 times in one day. Can you do the same tomorrow? What about the day after that? What about the day after that? What about the day after that? Or do you stop after a few weeks? I've been outreaching for 3 years. That's why I'm where I am now. And charisma, being able to understand social cues. And this is not me calling you autistic, but unless you've actively spent time learning social skills and learning human psychology, it's very likely that your social skills aren't as good as you think. If you're getting ghosted quite a bit right now, it's because you're subconsciously offending people. It's because you're doing things that you don't even know have a negative impact on the conversation, but they actually do. And until you realize why the exact DMs you're sending aren't converting, it's going to be very difficult for your messages to actually convert consistently, especially with higher paying clients. But charisma is a thing for another day. Consistency. Honestly, the main point of this is sometimes you just need to do outputs and understand that the process of this system is sometimes time. Time is the thing that most people don't account for. It's called outreach lag, which is essentially you're not going to see a direct thing of I do 50 outreach and I get 2 clients out the back. That's not how it works. Usually it will be I do 50 outreach, I get no clients. I do 50 outreach, I get no clients. I do 50 outreach, it gets no clients. I do 50 outreach and one day it just gets me like 5, 10 clients. And then one day you won't even outreach, but you'll still get another 4 clients. Because there's a lag between the inputs and the outputs. Nobody ever accounts for this lag, for this time component of the system. So you need to basically do the inputs that you know will actually cause you the success you want. So the video is edited and ensuring there's a system where you're actually improving per video. Having your client flow in check. Your outreach, making sure that there are the right messages that you can send, and I do teach that, but the main thing is you're actually sending it consistently and high volume over time. People always say quality or quantity. The truth is you have to do both. And then previews, there's a way that you can do it by basically spending like 10, 20 minutes a week. A lot of people think it takes a long time to set up your brand. It honestly takes you less than half an hour a week. If you do it in the right way and you're not doing your stupid things like giveaways or thinking about the exact tweet that you can do about you grinding. So just account for that time portion. Nobody ever accounts for the time component of the equation. They just expect instant input in and instant output. Sometimes you're doing input, you're doing input, you're doing input, and it only pays off a month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now. And yeah, that's why most video editors stay poor, because they can't, they do a little bit of input, don't leave any time, and then say it doesn't work because there's no output, when they outreached like 20 times. They outreached 20 times and edited 10 videos. So yeah, hope you found this useful. If you are someone that gets pissed off at this, then you're not someone that's gonna do that well, and I don't really mind. My job here is just to share lessons that I've gone through my editing career, and if you take that and use it, you're one of my people who likes working and enjoys the game of business. If you're someone that gets pissed off at this and wanted passive income, and you're mad that I said, oh, you actually have to edit videos if you want to make money video editing. Whoa! And you get pissed at me saying that because I didn't give you a top 5 AI tools video to make 10,000 a month. If you're one of those people, then you can go watch those videos. You've watched a couple of them before. They haven't got you very far. So, yeah, you can either keep listening to them or listen to someone that's actually done what you want. You can go into the description, see my portfolio. You can see what I've actually done with my work. I don't edit these videos because I don't really give a fuck. I make more than enough money through the clients I work with. If you don't want to listen to me, you're lost. If you want what I have and listen to me, I don't really know. I'm just sharing what I know online because I find this fun in my spare time. So yeah, hope you found this useful, bro. Take care.